So let us start. It's already 5 p.m. It's evening here in Germany, but probably we have today people around the world. So it might be morning or the middle of the day or middle of the night. But hopefully for all of you, our session today will be super useful. And after it, you will be able to implement all of these new knowledges in your projects. So today, we will talk about the Power Platform and some new updates which were coming with Wave 2. And with us today will be three proMX speakers. It's Tino Rabe, it's Gabriela Ruhe, and Dominik Rzepnicki. It's very hard for me to read, but Dominik, I promise you, I will train myself. So as it
Hopefully.
was, yes, hopefully. Hi, Dominik. And yeah, as you know, this is the Dynamics week and 5 sessions in a row. Each day we have one session, and you can check that also on our website and register for the next sessions. There will be a chance to ask questions in the chat. There will be also our moderators who will have a look at the questions and probably will answer them. If not, I will then look at them later on and ask them out loud to our speakers. And yeah, as you see, it will be 3 speakers today, 3 small topics, but very important. So you will be able to ask questions after each topic, of course. And yeah, I would suggest to start, and we are starting with Tino.
Great. Thanks, Elena. I'm taking over from here. So, hello, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. And if I'm lucky, you might see a PowerPoint right now. So, my topic of choice for today is Power Pages. I called it a new kid on the block, which is kind of new because it's basically a new Power App out there, just in the line of all the other Power Apps. It used to be a Power Apps portal, which was like the sibling of all the Power Apps, but now it's really it's on the same height. So let's have a look at what's here, what's new here, what you can expect from this new Power App, I would say. All right. A couple of words to myself. My name is Tino Rabe. I'm a senior consultant with proMX for more than 2 years now. My expertise is primarily in Power Pages, actually, which used to be Power Apps Portals, which used to be ADX Studio. So I would say I'm a Portals veteran for the time being. But beside of that, I'm also very knowledgeable in the Dynamics 365 products, namely its customer service, sales, and field service. So whenever you have a question, we, as Jelena said, we have some time at the end of my session, but you can always ping me on LinkedIn or Twitter or email and ask your questions whenever you want. So let's directly jump into it. Power Pages is now this new app which has reached general availability in October of this year. I think it was in public preview for the better first half of the year, something like June or so, or maybe even earlier. And now it's reached general availability. So it's available for you as we speak right now. It looks like a new product. It is. It's kind of a relaunch of Power Apps portals with a massive improvement in feature set. And we are going to have a first look at this today in this couple of minutes that we have. So maybe you get an appetite for the solution that is out there, which is called Power Pages. The first thing is really the maker experience. Microsoft heavily invested into it to even more consolidate all the admin centers that you need and all the configuration experience that you might have to successfully implement your portals implementation right here. The 4 areas that have been pronounced is the pages area, so the maker experience for pages, for styling, data, and setup. And if you like, I'd like to invite you to quickly, we can have a look at what's going on right there. So I'm just going to switch over to another screen. And with a bit of luck, you should see my browser now for the time being. So this is the brand new maker experience. If you want to make use and maybe try out Power Pages, simply use this web address, make.powerpages.microsoft.com. It will prompt you with 3 small questions, and then you are good to go to basically test it out. You can connect your Power Pages, your Power Page to any environment that you like, that you have access to. So I think this is nothing new, but what really is new is the look and feel. Of course, you can see it's very well organized now. You can see all of your pages within your environment, and you already have some actions right here. Um, the if you want to access this Maker experience, simply go to the Edit button, and we will now show you all of the Maker experience I've showed you previously on the slide. So it's just building up everything that you need. You can very nice see, okay, you've got this, you are in this Power Pages solution right here, which is demo 1. And now you have these 4 menus that I showed you earlier, which is pages. You might be some kind of familiar with this because some of those features already have been rolled out in the Power Apps portals Maker experience for some months now. But now it's a brand new relaunch, and now everything is into place, and you're even you can even now change your Power Apps portals implementation with the use of this new Maker experience. So on the left hand side under pages, you have your outline of pages, and you can quite easily just add a page. Let's say you can even browse in a preview mode here. So let's say if we want to add a new page under the pages submenu, simply go to here and say add a new subpage. We call it hello world, whatever. You even have new layouts, which I cannot cover in this session right now, but let's just choose one. And as you can see, the page is now added in this editor mode, hello world. Nice and easy. It is by far the easiest experience with a Power Apps or Power Pages, Power Apps portal solution we have come across with. So that's very good for us portals makers. We also have a styling tab where we can now easily customize the look and feel without diving deep into the Bootstrap theme or any CSS classes you might see. It's very easy. You have so much new, nice color palettes by default as templates that you can use. And even there, you can go and choose the colors and just tweak them as desired for all the things that you need. You might come across that you want to change the button color, then simply do it, and you can sync it back, and then you're done. The third thing is the data tab. I'm going to discard these changes for now. The data tab really now brings in more Maker experience that you currently have, because you cannot only see the data within your entities or your tables, but you can also edit the data model right from here, like the views or the table itself, add a new column, for instance, or change a form. So that's very nice. You, of course, have all the available tables of your environment at hand. So let's say we want to look at the account maybe. Where is it? There it is. And it's going to fetch all the data for you right now. You can see you have all the data in here. Very nice, very well organized. So you don't even need to switch the Maker experience to make changes to your data model or the schema. And last but not least, we have a setup page where we have numerous options to administer our portal solutions up to scale in a professional manner. Like changing the identity providers so people can use different methods of authentication, table permissions, site visibility, so much stuff. One thing I like to point out, it's very easy now to preview your site right from here, from the Maker experience. You have 2 options to either go to the desktop version or the mobile version. It's very easy. And once it's loaded, you will see that now we have a private visibility mode. So actually now we have a switch to say we want to publish a portal to the internet or not, which is a very, very big improvement, I feel, because If you are in a development process and you might want to give the testers access to your implementations, it's very easy. It can be done within your Office users, and you can preview the site without being exposed to the whole internet. Very nice. Great. Moving on and going back to the presentation real quick for you. There you go. We do have new templates available. That's very nice. We used to have some templates as customer service, community portal, partner portal, I believe, and those have been around for, I don't know, 5 years or so. We now have the possibility to choose from new templates, and let's cross fingers that this repository grows and grows over the next couple of months and years, so we can even further choose from other templates. I'm going to show you real quick because there's a nice hidden feature inside of there that I want to show you. So if we go to home and you want to create a new site, or actually we can do it other way around. We can go to the templates right here, and this will give you this repository, this collection of prefabricated templates from Microsoft for you. And if you click one, you can preview this now. How cool is that? So it gives you the most richest feature sets of this template. You can click through this and have a first glimpse of what it looks like, and even on the mobile version. That's super cool. I really, really like this. It also gives you the feature sets named out in a nice overview per template. Very nice. All right, moving on. I'm sorry to switch around, but that's the only possibility I have right here. That's quick and easy, no worries. Okay, we do have a learning hub. So you might be aware of learn.microsoft.com, but now this is in a centralized place. So within the Maker experience, you do have this Learn menu option that I showed you earlier. And from here, you have a huge collection organized as a knowledge database, I would say, which ultimately direct you to these learn.microsoft.com resources, but it's very well organized, it's well structured. So like if you want to start, you have these first tiles, and then maybe you want to even go into development, like using the web API or create your own page templates, then you will find all the learning resources right here to get you started. We have a huge improvement right now. We have a Pro Dev tooling, it's called. So we have a native integrated Visual Studio Code web interface from within the Maker experience. Before that, you had to run your Visual Studio Code instance locally and connect it via the Power Apps command line integration extension. And now this is even more simplified for you because, and I'm now showing the Maker experience again. So if you go to any page, you will find a new option. Like, let's say we are on the home, and we want to change this video section right here. We can just click the three dots right here and say Edit Code. And then it says Open Visual Studio Code. It's now opening a new browser tab for you. And there you go. It's now fetching our files, so everything that's behind. And now we have the control that that used to be in the old portal management Maker experience within the portal management Power App, model-driven app. I'm saying you can now access all those building blocks like the custom CSS, JS, or even the copy HTML portion of your page and directly change the code as you desire. Very cool. It can't be easier than this, I think. Still, of course, you have all the options to have it run locally, but here you can make use of Visual Studio Code from within your browser, which is even nicer and even more convenient, I feel. Great. Moving on, I have two more slides for you today. So let's see. Microsoft heavily invested in terms of security and governance for all its customers and new customers. We do have now the native support of an Azure application firewall, which makes it even more easy to simply activate and configure it right from within the maker experience of a Power Page solution. We do have a go live checklist. I'm going to show it to you real quick, first glimpse. Content delivery network support is something that has been around for quite some time now. It's basically the option that you want to transfer all your files within the Azure data center landscape to bring it locally a bit more nearer to you. Yeah, of course, you're giving away the data a bit, right? Because it's distributed over all the data centers. But if you are running a Power Pages implementation at scale globally, you can greatly improve the performance right here, because it gives you the possibility to be locally nearer to your customer. And the last point I'm listing out here, I already showed you, you have a preview access to the site before you go live. So I'm going to quickly show you this go live checklist, how it's organized. I think it's very, very nice feature. Something I would have liked to see years ago, actually. So it is in your maker experience in the setup tab. You do have this go live checklist right here. And this is really a condensed list of all the knowledge that Microsoft and their implementers have collected over the years. For instance, you can run the site checker to see if there are any issues. Have you thought of licensing, which I'm going to cover in a second? You need to convert your site from trial to production. Do you want to enable this content delivery network to greatly improve your performance? Then this application Azure Web Application Firewall I've been talking about. And last but not least, let's give it a custom domain, so it's not in the domain space of Microsoft any longer, and it's in your domain space, really just to complement your website and your domain. Great. Last but not least, let's talk about licensing, because this is by far the biggest change that we have seen with the announcement of Power Pages. I'm going to present this real quick. We still have this separation between an authenticated and anonymous user. You might be familiar with this. So an authenticated user is the one who has a login, who can log in and out as they want, and then therefore this user is known to the portal. Whereas you have the anonymous user who does not need to be logged in, but can browse some spaces of your website as you have configured. For the authenticated users, we, for quite some years now, I think it has been 1 or 2 years maybe, you had to buy login capacity upfront, so in advance to the actual consumption. So it was like you had to look into your glass bowl at the beginning of the month and anticipate, okay, I'm going to have 200 active users, logged in users for this month, yeah, for a 24-hour period. You might be familiar, and yeah, that was basically the approach. And now we finally have pay-as-you-go. So you can now utilize your Azure subscription to pay for the actual usage. Of course, it's up to you to calculate which is the better option. But at the end of the day, you now have the flexibility to say, I don't want to buy capacity in advance. I'm going to simply be invoiced on the actual usage that has happened over the month. So hooray, Microsoft, for finally listening to the community and to its customers, because this was a big disadvantage, I think. You can check the pricing yourself. Just simply Google the Power Page pricing, and then you will see that it's a different pricing method right here. So that's a very first and a very fast glimpse of Power Pages. You can see it's a great improvement of the feature set of Power Apps portals. Go check it out if you like. ping us, reach out to us if you're more interested and want to learn more about it, maybe even have an idea for your business to leverage Power Pages. We're here for you to get you started and be your partner for this implementation. All right, last but not least, I'd like to answer some questions now, if there are any.
Thank you, Tina, for the presentation. Yes, there is a one question. Yeah, right. So more like there is a need for the recommendation or feedback regarding the multi-language content implementation in the Power Pages.
Right, right. So technically, the multi-language option is the same as it used to be in Power Apps portals. It's identical. Briefly saying, the whole technical foundation is the same. So maybe, I'm not sure, I've not played around it in that respect, if you can configure multi-language support from within the new Maker experience. If not, it's no problem, because you can go to the known portal management app, and from there it is very easy to follow even the Microsoft documentation. So what do I mean by stating this? So I'm going to share my screen real quick for you. So this is the portal management app that we still have. So like we had it before the launch of Power Pages. This is actually my website, and you can see it is the same familiar experience. The same documentation applies for the administration of this solution. Yeah, and from here we can say we have supported languages. If we were to create, or if we want to add a new website language, simply go to this experience and just follow the documentation, I would say.
Thank you, Tino. If there will be more questions, please put them in the chat. If not, you can find Tina in LinkedIn, or you can contact us via look@promx.net. Let us continue with Dominik.
Okay. Okay, I will just share my screen. Okay, is it visible?
Yes.
All right. So I would like to speak about the brand new feature, which is called PowerFX Formula Columns. Okay. So hello again. My name is Dominik Rzepnicki, and I'm technical consultant in proMX for about 1.5 years. With the dynamic system, I'm associated since 2016. I have started working as functional consultant, and now I'm responsible for technical aspects during the implementations. Mainly my responsibilities are customizing the system, providing the automations according to the business requirements, preparing reports by using various methods, business analysis, and making technical concepts for our customers. I'm also doing data migrations with Kingsway Soft tool. Here's the key information about my person, and here's the link to the Linkit and my proMX email if you'd like to reach me out. Okay, next slide. So what is exactly the PowerFX? It's a low-code programming language for Power Platform that's based off the Microsoft Excel. Formula columns empower citizen developer to express business logic on top of the existing columns in difference columns from other tables directly onto Dataverse. As calculations are done at the Dataverse level, results can be seen and used in all Dataverse endpoints, including Power Apps, Power Automate, or Power BI. We can do things like collect data, filter data, do some conditional formatting, make buttons actionable, and things like that. In general, we can run now the Excel functionality on top of the Dataverse. Plus, we don't need to use calculated fields functionality anymore, because it contains only small percentage of the possibilities what PowerFX will do. Currently only in the preview mode, but soon. Next slide. Okay, here's the slide with the available functions, the key available functions. If you take a look on this table, what we are having here, it shows us how similar PowerFX functions in Microsoft Excel are. This list shows us some of the examples of the key PowerFX functions, which are either very similar or almost exactly like functions we are having in Microsoft Excel. Excel has got enormous user base, so this makes making Power Apps and using Power Platform very accessible. You don't have to learn a whole new language. As a demo, I have prepared for you 3 business cases. First of all, will be how we can handle the calculations between fields. And the second one is regarding how we can handle the functions within the strings fields. And the third one, the last one, would be regarding the functions regarding the date fields. So let's just, I'll just open the system. Okay, here's the Power Apps platform, which is a designer for Power Apps, and I have prepared the whole brand new custom table, which is called sales. And additionally, I have created the custom fields like full name, salutation, price per unit, quantity, order date. According to those fields, I would like to present you those 3 mentioned before business cases. So first of all, calculations. I would like to give end user the basic information regarding, for instance, total amount of this specific sales record. So I have to jump to the plus button and create a brand new field. First of all, I have to provide the display name. So I provided total amount. And in the data type here, we are able to choose now PowerFX option, which is currently in preview mode. So as I mentioned before, I would like to provide the total amount for end user. So I need to use the price per unit and quantity fields. So I'm writing my query, which is price per unit equals quantity. And take a look. Here's the IntelliSense included in this PowerFX functionality. It knows exactly what kind of information is stored actually in the current entity, in the current table, and it suggests me the potential fields to use. Currently, I'm not having so much stuff here in this custom table, but after providing some first letters by saying quantity, then he knows exactly which field I would like to use. So after pressing enter, I'm now able to save the creation of new table. If I'm not making the appropriate query, I'm not able to create the field. Okay. So after saving this dialog, in a second I will receive my total amounts on the fly. It will be available for us. Okay. Here is it. The second scenario would be regarding working with strings by using the same functionalities what we are having in Microsoft Excel as concatenate. And use case is the following. I have received many times from our customers the requirements where customer would like to see the information regarding the title as the salutation with the full name of its customer, for instance, in a one field. Such information will be used finally in the reporting functionality, let's say. And to implement such request, we had to build normally a JavaScript function within the specific tables form or the condition within the reporting like document core pack or Power BI. And for this presentation purpose, I have prepared the following values like in salutation field, Mr., Professor, Doctor, or Mrs. According to these values, I would like to make the whole title of each person in one field. So we are jumping to creation of the new field. I'm providing the display name as a title and data type in PowerFX Formula in preview mode. So as I said before, in Microsoft Excel, we are using concatenate function, and we are doing the same here. So I'm providing the first 4 letters, and take a look. The IntelliSense suggests me already this specific function, okay? So we are pressing the enter, and afterwards we have to include our fields. So in the first section, I will add the salutation field. Salutation. We have to make additionally the small space between salutation field and full name field, and providing the full name. Okay. And closing the brackets. Then I'm able to save the creation of the field. Pressing the saving the button. And in just a second, we will receive the results of our records on the fly. So for JavaScript implementation, we should spend much more time than 1 minute like we did just a few seconds ago. We have to prepare the proper script when we are haven't got any of this. We have to prepare the function with the specific variables, the whole logic behind it. We have to upload the script to the specific form, and so on. So it takes much more time than this functionality, this possibility by PowerFX. So it's pretty awesome. And the last one business case, what I have mentioned before, it would be the functions according to the date fields. So we are having here in this custom table order date, which is providing us the key information when exactly the order date has occurred. So let's say the business scenario would be that I would like to display the key information within the next column, whether order has been placed or not. So I would like to display the specific text for each record, order placed or order not placed, when the difference between our order date and today's date is less or equals 14 days. Okay, so we are jumping to creation of the new field. I will call it placed order. I'm also choosing the PowerFX formula here. And now I have to create an if statement plus use the same functionality what we are having in Microsoft Excel, date difference, to just compare two dates, order date and today's date. So we are gonna to choose order date by comma. We are using UTC today's date, and opening the bracket and closing the bracket regarding the date difference. And we are now making the logical test. So if it's less or equals 14 days, then we are displaying the end user the specific text, which is order placed, or we are, if not, then we are using the order not placed, and closing the brackets. We are able now, if it's appropriate query, we are able to save the query. Saving the button, and on the fly we should receive the specific results. And here's it: place order. In 3 cases, order not hasn't been placed, and in 1 case has been placed. So as you see, the PowerFX is very intuitive and user-friendly. It seems that nowadays companies can write the logic on top of the data, like a validation or data manipulation. It helps them achieve data integrity and across the system and applications. But with PowerFX support at the Dataverse level, now enterprise don't have to write the complex logic at the client level. It can stay on top of the data. It supports now the data types like decimals, currencies, booleans, strings, as you saw just a few seconds ago. And on top of it, Formula Column supports local features that links one entity to the other and then applies specific logic on top of the data. And the most important thing is that end user can see on the fly the results. So it's pretty awesome. It's a good starting point to replace the calculated fields and rollups, but not for now. It's too soon, and Microsoft hasn't got enough data, feedback, and experience from us as a service provider. They will keep working on this feature, and appropriate communicates will be delivered in the long-term release plan. But the main goal is that PowerFX can do everything that can be done currently, but much easier and faster than now. Okay, let's jump back to the slides. And that's it. Questions?
Thank you, Dominik. I cannot see questions for now, but maybe there will be some questions. But I would suggest to start with the next speaker. But if there will be any questions, please put them in the chat so we can read them in the end for Dominik and for Gabriela together and discuss them. So our third topic will be Power Apps grid controls. And Gabriela, Ruhe, please, your last but not least, of course.
Thank you very much. So let's start with the next presentation. Oh yeah, our next topic will be Power App grid controls. In this presentation, I'm going to show you all the current functions we have in the current Power Apps read-only grid, and also what the new Power App grid will have for new functions. So let's start. Just some facts about me. My name is Gabriela Ruhe. I'm working as a technical consultant for the proMX AG since September 2016. My department is research and development. Beside our daily business, we're also doing some research work. That means we are just testing new features which coming for the Microsoft Power Platform. Yeah, and my main areas of activity are Microsoft Power Platform customizations. I'm also doing a lot of Power BI stuff. So yeah, just creating reports. And I'm back in the topic Canvas apps. Yeah, Microsoft brings more and more great features for this feature. So yeah, this is what I'm actually doing. So general information. First good, we are going to look at is the Power Apps read-only grid. This grid control is the new default control for all read-only views and subgrids since April 2022. So for most of you, this grid will look very familiar. The new Power Apps grid control is still in preview mode, but the plans for now is from Microsoft is that this grid will become the new default grid in the future. And yeah, this to change this grid, you can do this in the settings of every entity. So let's take a look how we can do this. If you're on the make.powerapps.com site, if you're in your solution, I'm now in the default solution, go here on the points on the right side at the top. I have it in German here, but if you have it in English, it says go to classical view, and then you will come to the classical view, go to the entity for which you would like to change the grid, and then you can go to the controls tab, and here you see we have these two grids. Because the Power Apps read-only grid is the new default grid, for most of you, you will have activated this grid, but actually it's the same like this. The only thing you can do with this grid is to change the settings. So if you would like to change the settings of the Power Apps read-only grid, just change your grid to this one, and then you have all the settings here you need. Here is the new grid. It's still in preview mode. And yeah, you can, of course, test it already now. So let's start then with the current grid, which is the Power Apps read-only grid. So here, what functions do we have in a read-only grid? Yeah, edit of columns. Every searchable column can be added to a view, even columns from related entities. We have a lot of filter options. We have, for example, a jump bar, which filter records based on the letters of the alphabet, and it acts on the first sorted column or on the primary column. We can search for keywords. We can filter our logic in the background, and we have a lot of operators which we can use. So let's go back in our system. And yeah, this is the current read-only grid. So like I already said, for most of you, this will look really familiar. Yeah, here we are. Here you can see at the bottom is the jump bar. For now, my primary column is the account name. So if I'm searching something here, it now works on the account name. If I would change my order to another column, this means it will now search the alphabet letter for this column here. In the right upper corner, we have our keyword search. We can, of course, change in the setting for which keywords we would like to search. Then, as I said here, if we want to filter something, we have a lot of operators we can use to really get the data we would see. Then we have our Edit Columns button. You can add all columns which are searchable. Searchable means this is a default setting in our columns. If it's activated, you can search for it, add something, and like I said, also for every related entity, you can also add columns. Just click on Save and Apply. And of course, we can change the filter logic in the background. We can add groups to define any AND or OR logic, add related entities. A new area will appear that it's really easy to see that this is a related entity. Yeah, and if you would like to save this view, just click here at the bottom, save as a new view or save it as a current view. If I save it, my saved view will now appears at the top of my views. And here you can see these are my personal views. You have here this icon, so it's really easy to see if this is a personal view or a default view which everyone can see. You can, of course, change your personal views with other colleagues. This is how the current grid works. What is also a great new feature is this bottom here. Is visualize this view. Let's click on it and see what happened. Based on all the columns I have in my view, Microsoft creates a Power BI report automatically. It will show you sums and it counts what for data I've got here. So for now, Power BI recognized I have different cities in which my customer lives or based, and yeah, it just counts them. And yeah, gives me an example which I can use. If this is not what I would like to see, I can really easy change this. Here are my columns for my views. I could change this or add something to this. I can here personalize this view, change my x-axis and my legend, doing a lot of things just here in the Dynamics app where I'm doing my daily business. So if here in the top corner, you see it count everything automatically. Yeah, it's a really, really easy way to create reports based on the views I have. And if you save it, it would suggest to save this in my workspace. Even if you don't have a Power BI license, a Pro or Premium license is normally what people have when they work with Power BI. You can save this in my workspace and you can use this report then for your own. You cannot share it, but it's possible to use this report. Okay, so let's go back to our files. And let's take a look at our new grid control. Yeah, the new grid control, what features do we have here? We have the possibility of infinite scrolling. Let's start here at the top. There's no more limitation of maximum 250 records per page. If I don't want to have this maximum, I can activate this infinite scrolling and just scroll and scroll and scroll down without any limitations. There's a default editable grid mode. That means, yeah, it can be activated and it's just in one grid. Until now, there were two different grids which you had to change if you want to make a grid editable. Now it's a default setting. We can let show the data types of our column headers. If it's a text, a number, an email, we can let it show. In some cases, this could be really helpful if you have a lot of columns in your grids. We can now use the color of our option set values. We can let it show as a background color. And if you have a lot of data and want to recognize something really fast, this could be a great way, or it is a really easy way to do a customization based on a color. And another great and probably newest big feature is that you can now custom cells renders or editors. That means you can use out-about functions to modify your grid. For example, what a lot of you maybe know is to use PCF controls. It's now possible to add really easy PCF controls to this new kind of grid. And if you have a developer who's familiar with coding, it's really easy now to write your own code and embedding this to this new grid. Until now, it was really big effort to create own grids, customize them in the way you are, and now our platform community says this is really a big improvement. So let's take a look how this new grid could look like. So this is how this grid looks like. As you can see, all the functions we've got from the older grid version, we also have them here. The jumper is here. We can filter for keywords. All functions are here. The visualize this view option is available. Yeah, and as you can see, it looks a bit different. We have horizontal and vertical lines between our records. Here at the role column, I activated the option set color. So this is an example how this could look like. I also activated the column type. So as you can see here, it's a text field, it's an email field. Look up, really easy to recognize which type of column I can see here. What you can see in blue means there's any link behind it. For example, this is a lookup field. So if I would click on that, it would link me to the company which belongs to my contacts. If I'm clicking on my email, like in the old grids, it recognizes, it's an email. So I could write an email directly, clicking on this link. The same with telephone. Microsoft recognized it's a phone number. And yeah, I can start directly doing a phone call from this. Yeah, and as you can see, it's editable. I can edit it. And if I'm going to this contact, you can see, oh no, it's not editable. Here you can see now it's edited. It goes really fast from the grid itself. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. So, because I'm not so familiar in customizing grids, here's just an example how a customized grid could look like. So you could have some custom icons for your option sets, or use it as values, or just have some Boolean fields, yes, no options, and let it look like this. So yeah, it's now really more easy to customize your grid in the way you need it, yeah, to work better with your data. That's all from my side. Any questions?
Thank you, Gabriela. Let us wait for a few minutes for some questions. Maybe they will show up in the chat. While we are waiting, I will do a small promotion of tomorrow's session. So tomorrow we'll have session in German language, which will be connected to this new law, which requires to track time and to do the reportings. And Sebastian will talk about a bit more about this law and what kind of instruments and tools we have to cover this for now issue, but tomorrow you will know how to solve it. You can also pay attention to the channels and to the messages we send in the chat. There are subscription to our newsletter where you will get all the updates from us, and you can sign also for our events. We plan to have more webinars for next year, so do so. There is also both languages, German and English versions. Okay. Do not see any questions for now, but for all of you, you saw all the contact data of our speakers today. Thank you guys very much for doing this session for us today. And yeah, you can easily contact them in LinkedIn or via their email box, or also write us to look at proMX.net, and we will forward your message to the speaker. Okay, I think we are done today. Hope to see you tomorrow or on the session on Thursday or Friday. There will be more interesting sessions, of course, German and English language. And have a great day up front, or have a nice evening for everybody. Thank you for being with us, and see you next time.